I liked the addition of the clips, though. To be honest.
Yeah, you are alive. The internet can totally see you now. Stop using your encoder. Oh, to stop, use your encoder. Let me see if I can actually get around that. Like this.
You better not make us start all over again.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I bet you I can get away with it. Main slide. Insert. Oh, okay. I'm gonna figure it. Just wait for it.
It's 12:25. You better hurry. No.
You don't even work tomorrow. What's it to ya? WTF? Wait, what? Halloween visual aid. Okay, and we'll just put this right down here in the corner. Hey, boy. All right, let's see. Yeah. No complaints yet. I'll just keep a close eye on it.
I don't think Josh wants to be in our live stream. So you just want to make sure it doesn't cut off on us, basically?
Yeah, I'll just keep... Because it told me that something was copyrighted, but I didn't think it would just shut down the entire live stream. So this is good.
I told you that before?
Yeah. It said we detected copyrighted content, and then it just... Live stream is unavailable. So, I guess I can do a quick introduction for people watching this. This is the WTF, wait, what? Podcast? What do you mean it's not showing it?
For me, I'm trying to... Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. This is the WTF, wait, what podcast? This is technically the first one, but it's not the first one we're going to do. We're going to talk about awesome stuff. I'm not going to do that intro that I did because, yeah.
Yeah.
We got fucked by the YouTube algorithm. It was like a cactus being shoved down your throat without any lubrication of any kind.
Lubrication wouldn't help. But so Halloween 2018 predictions.
Yes.
It's gonna be a continuation directly from the first one, getting rid of all the other movies because John Carpenter. We're just recapping here because John Carpenter was not happy with having, sequels. He wanted it to end in mystery with I almost said Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Michael Myers surviving the night, and then that's it. That's the last you see of him.
Well, technically, it wasn't John Carpenter's decision. It was Danny McBride and the other guy that were... I can't remember the other guy's name.
Danny McBride?
Gordon Green, something like that. Two comedy actors, or writers. Let's see, 2018... David Gordon Green.
Okay.
And it's being... Yeah, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. Yeah. The screenplay was written by Danny McBride and David Gordon Green. But they showed the script to John Carpenter, and John Carpenter liked it so much that he was on board.
Ah.
Yeah. But they felt like, and John Carpenter obviously agreed, that it would be better to just disregard all the other films, blah, blah, blah. So, what has David Gordon Green done? Pineapple Express? He directed that.
Oh, wow.
A lot of other movies, but I'm trying to do the most popular ones. And then Danny McBride, Tropic Thunder. He was an actor in that.
McBride is... Okay, so wait. Never mind. Go on.
What were you going to say?
I'm just confused because I thought he was just an actor. Are you talking about him directing?
He's a writer. He's
a writer?
He helped write the screenplay. The director is David Gordon Green. David Gordon Green.
I'm just finding it hard to believe. I'm always seeing him as a comedian in freaking movies all the time, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, I guess he's written... I don't know what he's written, but other than the screenplay. John Carpenter apparently liked it.
In general.
Yeah.
When he's bored. Anyway.
So...
Predictions.
What conversation were we on?
In the last stream?
Yeah, before it got canceled out for some cocksucking reason.
I can't remember. I'm on the spot kind of guy. But let's make some predictions. I have a feeling...
I think he's going to live. I think Michael Myers is going to live. I think Laurie Strode is going to die.
Alright. And you think they're going to continue again? Like,
yes.
more sequels?
There is a quote. I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure Laurie's gonna die though. Yeah, you're. I think you're 100% right on that. But he's gonna have to be going after someone else, right? Like her relative or her daughter
Probably, yeah, either her daughter or her granddaughter.
or both. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because there is a quote. I don't know if it was from David Gordon Green. I think it was. But basically, what they were gonna do is they were gonna make a movie and its sequel back to back. They were gonna make Halloween 2018 plus a sequel after that one back to back. But he basically said, "I'll wait because I don't want to make a movie that a sequel to a movie that people hated." So he basically already admitted that they were going to do a sequel. Plus, I don't think they will kill Michael Myers because whoever owns the rights, because I still think it's Mustafa Akkad and the Akkads who produced the film, they have it in their contract that Michael Myers can't die, like you can't kill him.
Nice, nice. Like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean I don't know though because I haven't read that contract if that's still a thing anymore. But the only reason why I know that is because Halloween 20 years later, or also known as Halloween H2O, when Jamie Lee Curtis came back, she chopped his head off at the end. But they had to make a sequel because they're like, yeah, no, you can't kill him. As you can see, he just got hit by a truck.
And then just made an unexplained sequel, like, oh, his head grew back.
No, he changed places with a paramedic.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's how they have the explanation in the next movie.
Yeah, a lot of
Or was
people.
it the ending?
It was the beginning of the next movie, and then Jamie
Okay.
Lee Curtis dies in like the first 18 minutes of the film.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of glad they're retconning it because they started going down a dark path. Not dark, but just going downhill for the series.
Yeah.
One movie right after the other. Because the second was pretty good too.
I agree.
Then the third had nothing to do with him because I guess they were trying to go another direction.
Yeah, because they tried to kill him off.
But in this one, you know how they show footage of him in the trailer where he's in the psychiatric ward?
Yes.
It is. I have a feeling they're gonna have to show an explanation on like whether he's just a crazy man or he's evil, like truly evil, the embodiment of evil. They're gonna have, this is modern times. They're gonna have to bring up the fact that he took a few shots and survived it with no medical help. The stabbing that you were talking about in the last stream that we got cut off.
Yeah.
Where,
stabbed in the neck, in the eye, and then the heart.
And then survives that with both eyes.
Oh well, that movie was from that was from the second movie, so that's part of why they're disregarding
Might
it.
not have his eye in this next movie, but
I think his eye will be scarred.
Okay, that would make sense. They would have to make an explanation on how he survived because in modern times, movies just explain things now. Everything has to be explained. It depends on how John Carpenter wants to do it or whoever's directing it. But
David Gordon Green.
I have a feeling they're going to have to.
You see, I don't think they will explain his motives or why he was seemingly unstoppable in the first movie. I think they will make him just a little bit more human than they did in the sequels, like the follow-ups. But I think they're going to leave a gray area to make you wonder. Because in the sequels after the first one, after the second one, they put him through so much shit. Like he got shot repeatedly, ran over, and so on and so forth, but he still kept coming. I think they're going to avoid putting him in that situation, and I think they'll be more subtle about it.
Okay, like he just luckily gets out of harm's way.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of him obviously taking a bunch of freaking damage, I guess it's gonna show him like barely making out of danger's way.
Yeah.
I'm doing. Wait, give me a sec.
Alright, guys, we are going to take a break real quick while we're waiting for my comrade. I'm going to talk to you. Actually, no, I'll stay. I actually really like all of the Halloween movies. I think they're all great. Some of my favorite films. It's probably my favorite horror series alive. I think it's fantastic. Well,
Sorry, my dad freaked out.
Making too much noise?
I don't know. I guess because I was on the computer.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess I could just go on the phone. Might make it easier.
that's true. I'll I can put it on a break real quick.
All right.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break, guys.
What sphinx of cement and aluminum bashed open their skulls and ate up their brains and imagination?
And we're back. Anyway, so yeah, I think they're so in all the interviews that they did leading up to this movie, they really made it seem like they didn't like how immortal he became because it wasn't scary anymore. What they found scary was in the first film is you had no idea because he seemingly just shrugged off all of this stuff.
But no one knows why.
Yeah, but no one knows why. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to try to make you believe that he's killable, that he's mortal, but I think they're going to go with the immortal side of things. I do think eventually they will try to kill off the character if it's not written in the contract that you can't kill him off. So that'll be interesting to see. I hope they don't kill him off. I hope they just have an open ending, but have it to be such a great film to where it doesn't need to be rebooted and just leave it like that. Like, I think the first movie would have been, as in a selfish way, I want to see sequels because that's, you know, what you want to do with your favorite stuff. But I think the first one had such a perfect ending where you hear this omniscient breathing in the background and then all the shots of the entire neighborhood, all the places he's been to make you think that he's everywhere. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna give him more of a psycho feel. I could tell from this trailer. You know how in the first one he was just very calculated.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill his sister, and anyone who gets in his way is just caught in the crossfire.
Well, that's the thing. So, in this one, she's not his sister.
Wait. Oh yeah. They were saying it was a rumor.
Yeah, because the
Well,
sibling
they
thing.
established that in the first one.
No, that was the second one.
Oh.
In the first one, Laurie Strode drops off the key to the Myers house, and then he stalks her from there on out, and kills her friends.
Oh God.
Yeah, which is kind of which is
bad luck.
well, yeah, it is bad luck. That's why people like the first one so much and wish it would have ended there because there's no explanation. You get the monologue from
Just a random guy coming to kill you.
yeah, but then it turns out through all the stuff you see him go through, and then the monologue from his psychiatrist saying that he's pure evil, it just adds this mysterious element, and you have no idea, which is what I love.
Yeah.
So
They're gonna explain something. Or
I
is it gonna be that he's obsessed with her in some way?
I think it's gonna be that she's the one that got away. Like he set his eyes on her, he wanted to kill her at first to relive the night, and then since she got away and he got captured, I think he's gonna go back and
he's
try
like, I
to kill
gotta
her.
finish this.
Exactly.
But then it seems like it's gonna be a constant cycle. Like he's gonna see someone else that reminds him of his sister, and if
That's
they do
the point.
try to do sequels, but then that's kind of too much of an explanation at that point.
But that's not really an explanation because he's just killing to kill.
Ah, okay.
Like, because we don't know why he snapped and killed his sister when he was 6 years old.
What I don't like is this Michael Myers feels different. From the trailer, you could tell more, I guess you could say, spastic.
What do you mean?
Less. You know how in the original, he has a very calm way of moving and doing what he does. He's not very fast in his actions. This one seems a little different, like more humanized, I guess you could say. The other one, no, remember in the trailer, he just starts smashing his head into the freaking.
Oh no, that wasn't his head. If you actually pause it, it was the head of the documentarian at the beginning. He's smashing the guy. Like if you watch, because I don't know.
Smashing the dude's head into the.
Yeah. This dude's head right here. That dude's head. Yeah. The one that you'll see. And if, like, because people paused it and they saw that it was his head. Yeah. So he's dead,
Oh,
basically. Yeah. It's basically a spoiler in the trailer.
okay, yeah, it does kind of look like he's smashing someone else's head in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
I guess that debunks what I was thinking.
yeah, you still do see him walk, but he walks less like a zombie now. Like, because in the first one he
Because the
moved.
first one, it never made sense how he was so slow, but he always caught up to you.
It's
This
because
one,
he
it
was
would make more
confident.
sense that he speed. Wait, what?
It's because he was confident, because he knew he would get you. That's how smart he was. I don't think he's gonna speed walk. I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna have more movement. Like, because in the first one he did have more movement, because he was kind of He was stalking at the beginning, and then towards the end during the chase scene, he was focused and he was quick, even though he was just walking.
Okay.
I think that's the point. Is they're trying to, because he's human, but he's not human. Like, there is a supernatural
His
element to
soul
him.
is human. No. Well, he can't be human to be taking all the. Because in the first one, you got all the damage he took.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, I don't know if we covered this in this stream. You said it in the other one where it's gonna be a different approach to how he survives all these encounters. Where instead of him just getting shot.
Well,
and
you
stabbed,
see this what we're watching right now.
Yeah.
So at the end of
That
this
was in the
movie,
second movie or third movie.
this was the
No,
fourth one.
Fourth movie.
Yeah, the
It's not
return.
gonna have stuff like that because then it just wouldn't make sense.
Well, so at the end of this, in the next movie, they revealed that they threw a stick of dynamite down that shaft that he just fell down.
Uh-huh.
And you see that he escapes the shaft before the dynamite blows up. And then he, like, goes into a river and floats downstream. I think that's what's gonna happen. Something like that. Like, I think you'll probably see that he takes some damage and then he'll, like, fall down or whatever, but then he'll come back. This is my favorite scene right there.
Yeah, this shows how strong he is.
Yeah, this was the second movie. And he's doing it with a scalpel. I love that. Anyway, so I think we've
Them
beat that dead
forearms,
horse
right?
to death. Like, we could probably talk about more, so I think we should move on to Star Wars just to keep it
Yeah.
somewhat sane.
And what do you mean by the Star Wars series, Obi-Wan Star Wars? In the main series or as in anthology series, like in a whole?
Ooh, well, let's start with the anthology series, simply because Solo just came out and is not performing as well as a Star Wars movie should.
Or is expected to.
Yeah, they lost money. Like, they didn't lose money, they made a profit, but they didn't reach their projected, what they thought they were gonna make. Therefore, they're counting it as a loss. I want to see a story that's not related to the original trilogy or the prequel
all.
trilogy. Yeah, I want to see characters that we've never
I guess
seen.
in a way, a character that they could get away with because he wasn't too involved is Boba Fett. Or, well, I don't know, he is kind of involved because his father was in the Clone Wars and killed a bunch of Jedi.
Yeah.
At least in the cartoon, I think. But
Well, and he
people
does
are so
play.
interested in the character because in the original series, 4, 5, and 6, he literally had like 3 minutes of screen time altogether.
If that. I think it was like 90 seconds. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I like it. Like, I liked Solo. A lot of people hated Solo. Or they didn't hate Solo. It wasn't the movie they wanted. I was excited
Well,
for it.
they didn't think that Solo needed a backstory.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with that, but since I'm such a fanboy of
But it
Star
was
Wars,
interesting enough, from what you said when you saw it, I still have not seen it.
it's a great movie in my opinion. Like, there's obviously you know what's gonna happen. You know he's not gonna die or anything, but that's the beauty of it, is they introduce other characters that you also care about, and he has a love interest. You see how he meets Lando. I know it's a movie that people didn't want to see, but you actually cared about the characters, and if you actually watch it, you're invested in the story. And it was visually a great movie. I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie.
Story.
Yeah,
It's probably better than Last Jedi, though.
by far. It's because go ahead.
Anthology series, I think a good one would be just a random part of the galaxy, the faraway galaxy, It just has its own little interesting arc. Has nothing to do with the Imperial Army. Has nothing to do with maybe a random Jedi, because there's this comic book about this Jedi. I don't remember his name, but he was like one of the only ones that was willing to use a blaster with a lightsaber, and usually you'll never see, or just the Gray Jedi arc. You know how there's a light and dark side,
Yeah.
and in the movies there's no explanation about uh whether the light side is really good guys and the dark side is really bad guys. They never explain how the dark side's just a specific way of using the force and the light side's another way of using the force.
Yeah.
I wish they just delved deeper into that.
It's almost like expanded universe stuff.
Yeah.
Well, because you could
But they
do
don't
anything. You could do anything. Like, you could make, so we were just talking about
Or
Halloween.
Series. I could make a movie out of that.
Yeah, and we were talking about the movie Halloween. You could make a slasher movie and have it in the Star Wars universe. I mean, they could do anything, but they're playing it safe. And Rogue One was a great movie. Anybody who watches this, I think most people will think it's an okay movie or at least a fun movie. But take a risk and do something. Like, it would be cool, in my opinion, to see what you were talking about, or if the story took place on a planet that was being taken over by the Imperial Army, but we didn't get any characters that we already knew. We just see this planet that's being...
Kind of like Rogue One. Well,
Yeah.
it kind of did link into the original series in a way.
Yeah, well, it was about stealing the Death Star plans. Like, Rogue One is literally between
But it was
episode 3 and
characters
4.
that no one knows about. Unless you saw that movie.
Yeah, but I'm talking like one that doesn't directly lead up to another movie, because Rogue One is a perfect bridge between the third movie and the fourth, episode 3 and episode 4, because you have Bail Organa, who is in episode 3. You see him make a cameo, a character from episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and then it ends right at the beginning of A New Hope, episode 4. And then this one, it's like a few years before Solo. Solo is a few years before episode 4. So I want to see something that's like, you don't see Han Solo, you don't see Luke, you don't see anybody that we know at
The
all.
whole galaxy could be anywhere.
Exactly. Like I said, you could make a slasher movie.
They did a pod racing movie about people.
Yes! They could... You could do Saving Private Ryan in a Star Wars universe. You could do...
Show how dark war can actually be, because it kind of seems like kids movies at this point in terms of like the war scenes and all that.
I don't know, because so The Force Awakens, it began kind of intense, and then you see him wipe blood on the stormtrooper's face, on Finn's face.
Yeah.
And then
This is the first time you see blood, other than when Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ben Kenobi from the fourth movie.
yeah,
In the original uncut version, when he chops off the arm,
you
off
see
that
blood kind
alien,
of pouring
there's
out.
blood come out. They took that out, and you never see blood in the series up until Force Awakens.
Yeah. You do see Anakin get burnt to a crisp. Pretty
I
bad.
forget about that.
Yeah. And Rogue One was kind of dark because all the characters died at the end, and then you see Darth Vader like use the Force to shove a guy on the ceiling and then just cut him in half.
Actually, you know what I'd like to see? There's a part. Okay, it has nothing to do with the movies, but as soon as, I don't know if you know the backstory of Darth Vader. As soon as he becomes Darth Vader, how the Sith purposely made his suit make him vulnerable so that he's weaker on purpose.
Yeah.
He basically sent him on death missions
And he survived.
to try to kill him, basically, to see
Yeah.
if he's worth anything. And he would use his weaknesses as strengths, and that would be something that I think would be very cool to see.
That would be so freaking dope. Yeah, because they purposefully made him weak as punishment, in the expanded universe at least, as punishment, and so he wouldn't be stronger than the Emperor. And I think that would be cool because he overcame those weaknesses, like being constantly in pain.
Really use much of the dark, not the dark side of the Force.
Yeah. And his suit was clunky too.
On purpose, so he was slow, because Anakin, when he was when it was
fast.
Anakin, he was one of the, if not the fastest Jedi ever.
Well, his duel with Obi-Wan in episode 3 at the end, dude. That I remember seeing that in theaters. I saw that in theaters when I was a little kid.
People ripped at the shreds. They didn't like that it felt like dancing.
Well, yeah, but that's fine though because they're Jedi's in their. I want to see that. That's what's pissing me off about this new trilogy.
They're making them seem like kind of barbaric in the duels.
Yeah,
They're just lashing at each other.
I'm cool with it. Like I'm cool with it. It's cool, but I want to see something fucking epic. Quit being conservative. Give us something that looks like dancing. I don't care if it looks choreographed. You could do something in between. Like you can have some awesome parts.
Some of the books, the explanation is that they're so in tune with the Force that it looks like dancing pretty much because the Force is telling them how to move.
Yeah, and they're predicting each other's moves and anticipating it. What I think would be cool is if they could find like a middle ground, like where it seems kind of clunky and barbaric, like realistic, with elements in it that look choreographed because they're so in tune, and you can have a perfect middle ground where it escalates.
Yeah, but back to the Darth Vader thing.
Yeah.
If they did the story right after he becomes Darth Vader, show all those scenarios he goes through, because he does go around hunting Jedi.
Yeah.
The last of them. And then they could have it lead into like a Force Unleashed little anthology series.
Dude, I would love to see, because that guy that plays a Star Killer
Is the guy from The Mist, right?
Yes.
Okay. I thought he looked like him, but I didn't want to say anything to anybody because I didn't want to sound stupid.
Yeah, that's him. They based the character model off him, and he's the voice for it. I'd love to see him in a Star Wars movie, and he even said he would like to be in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, he's still young. He can do it.
Yeah.
The only problem I see with throwing him in there is that it would like ruin all of the consistency with the Force. You know, because it shows in the game, I guess you could say, that how strong Darth Vader is, but you never get to see that true power in the movies, and then people will be like, "Oh, why don't we get to see that?" Like how strong the Force push is basically like shooting cannons out of your hand.
Yeah. Well,
could
I
be-
think it would be fine to have him as a character, but just disregard Force
because
Unleashed.
super strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have that character concept.
Yeah, because the story was brilliant. He takes him in, trains him as his own secret apprentice so that he could overthrow the Sith.
Yeah. We can get rid of the over the top stuff. I wouldn't even mind if the story was completely different, but they still had that character.
Or he finds out he even has a son.
That
Or
Darth
he
Vader?
thinks that his daughter and son are dead. He doesn't find out till way later.
Well, he doesn't know that the kids were even born at all. And he didn't know it was twins.
Yeah, because he just hears that his wife is dead, and that's when he goes berserk.
Yeah, and in episode 6, the last duel, when Luke is hiding in the dark, trying to like hide himself, but Darth Vader's reading his mind. He's like, "Oh, so you have a sister? You have a twin sister?" And he's like, "Your thoughts have now betrayed you too." And then it provokes Luke using the dark side of the Force and beats Darth Vader. That was an epic scene.
You sent me that meme. I remember the Star Wars one.
Oh, I wonder if I have that. Oh, I know I have it somewhere. I have it.
It's in Facebook chat.
No, I have it. I know I have it. Shit, where is it? Because it's so funny. I love it. To post. Is it the one when he gets his hand cut off?
I think so. If not, it's the one where he just starts slashing at Darth Vader.
Yeah, I think I know what
When
you're
he's talking
talking
about being, having the good in him or something like that.
Did I send you a meme?
That's it. You didn't send it to me. You sent it to Jew. I mean, the chat.
There's two. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Interesting story would be a General Grievous backstory, because in the movies they totally butchered the character. Because in the books there was a planet, there's this alien race. The whole race gets wiped out, and it's just him. He was a very elite general of that planet, and freaking he blames the Jedi for it. And when Count Dooku saves him, he uses him as a weapon to fight the Jedi and trains him. So he basically, in the cartoon, and I'm not counting the 3D one, in the 2D one, he's able to fight these Jedi. Is that the one?
Yeah. That's why The Last Jedi was trash. Ignore like all the anti-SJWs that hate the movie. That was why it was trash. Frustrates me. To no end. To no end.
Jeez.
A
I
General
did like.
Grievous movie would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. I wouldn't be. I don't think it'd make a lot of money though, unfortunately.
Probably not.
It depends. He did have a huge fan base for a bit. My brother was a huge fan of him, even though he knew almost nothing about him. Just the design alone was enough to get people interested in who he was. But
You see, I think it's
Darth Vader
interesting.
would be the most interesting one. The story I was telling you about, whether they could have done.
Yeah. Well,
Even though he's a bad guy, I guess. It would be cool if he was the protagonist.
I want to know, because he wasn't a Force user. He was just trained, like, his cybernetics allowed him to use a lightsaber pretty elite.
Fast reflex, because you can't use a lightsaber unless you're in tune with the Force usually,
Yeah.
or else you'll cut yourself basically.
Well, that's not true, because Finn used a lightsaber.
That's one thing people ripped apart actually, because in the lore, it's better if you're in tune with the Force to use it, and that's why people assumed Finn was a Jedi, because in the trailer or in the beginning he was using a lightsaber effectively enough, you know.
To be fair, though, that was only relevant in the expanded universe. It wasn't actually canon. So I don't mind that he used it, but cuz what I didn't like about that though was how he stood up to Kylo Ren so easily.
Who?
Finn in The Force Awakens at
Oh
the end.
yeah, that was bad, but I think purposely, his master, I'm trying to remember his name because he was killed
Snoke.
off. Snoke. I think he purposely didn't train him all the way on purpose. Like he had a natural good use of the Force, like he was able to use it pretty well,
Yeah.
but he wasn't trained to use the Force with dueling. So it's like dueling was separate, and freaking the Force was separate.
No, it just said stream complete.
What?
I think it's just bad writing. They made
Yeah, because if he wanted to, he could have just crushed Kylo Ren. Because with the dark side, you get the power of crushing.
yeah, and
And instead, I think maybe they try to play it off as he was so angry he couldn't concentrate.
well, no, I think they screwed up. Like J.J. Abrams, he's a good director and whatnot, but sometimes, cause so at first when it was just The Force Awakens before The Last Jedi came out, people were, do you know what a Mary Sue is?
No.
Oh, well, okay. So they were calling Rey a Mary Sue. Basically, Mary Sue was a character that was overpowered. No, not a nobody. It was a character that was overpowered.
For no reason, not earning it.
Yeah, a perfect fictional character.
That's exactly what it was, what she is.
Yeah,
Because you don't get to see the hardship of her earning her power
yeah.
there. I
But-
think that's really bad.
But in the first movie, in The Force Awakens, I kind of wrote it off. Like I defended it in a way because she was self-sufficient on the planet already, and she was using a staff, so she was already efficient in melee combat. So I kind of accepted it, and I was like, okay, you know,
The Force? I mean, come on.
yeah. But Luke and Anakin, when they were a young age, they were in tune with the Force as well.
Well, the thing is, they were taking his young. Well, maybe not Luke. Yeah, he started late.
Well,
And
even
Ben already
Anakin
had
though.
no faith in him learning too much, to be honest.
No, Ben did. Yoda didn't.
Oh, Yoda did?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's because Yoda is more. He's old school. That's how they did it with the Jedi back in his time. They would kidnap. Okay, I wouldn't say kidnap, but trick the parents into taking the kid and training them.
Well, I think Yoda has more of a. I think you could compare his philosophy more
He wants
to
an
the
empty
Jewish.
cup. He wants an empty cup.
Kind of.
You're with an empty cup.
I wouldn't say that because Obi-Wan was old when he was trained in Star Wars lore.
And he
Probably,
became really in tune with the Force.
yeah. Well, Obi-Wan actually wasn't that in tune with the Force until
Oh yeah,
old
yeah. He
age.
was weak with the Force for a while, but
But
he was a good duelist.
yes, he was really good at defense techniques. On that note though, I think I would compare Yoda's ideology closer to like Judaism or Jewish, because if you walk up to a rabbi and you're like, "Hey, I want to convert to Judaism," they would keep rejecting you until you proved that you really wanted to be Jewish and that you accepted the scripture of Judaism. So I think that's sort of what Yoda was like. I think that was his ideology. Was he probably wanted Luke to be a Jedi, but he wanted Luke to prove himself.
Or what if they made a movie discussing how the Jedi are actually the bad guys? You know how there's always been a theory that
Yeah,
they are,
yeah.
like say how they hide
Emotions.
intelligence from
Oh,
everybody. They can't
yeah.
have emotions, and that's really what causes people to move to the dark side. Is they're finding out that that's the wrong way to do it. But then the dark side's another extreme.
Yeah, I think they're both extremes. I think both the Jedi and the Sith are extremely. So I think the Jedi is oppressive. It's sort of like a Christianity. Like they think they're being wise. I'm not dissing Christianity or anything. I'm just making sort of analogies. Like Jedi's are really oppressive. Like you can't fall in love, you can't do this, can't do that. While the Sith, I think they take their vices too far.
Where you gotta lead by emotion, and
Yes.
that's not a good way to go either.
Yeah, which is why I like the concept of gray Jedi's because it's in between. They're not bad. They're not bad people, but
And that's kind of what Mace Windu was, because he allowed himself to use parts of the Dark Force, the dark side of the Force, because it worked. It was useful, and he didn't see anything wrong with it. But Yoda was afraid that he would turn, uh,
is that true?
because yeah, that well, it might have been expanded universe
Yeah.
because it
So.
was. I'm going by books, man. I was really into Star Wars, the side lores.
Yeah, I think what's cool about this though, I understand why they disregard the expanded universe because there's so much. Eventually, you would end up creating plot holes because there's already enough plot holes if you really think about it, or inconsistencies. But what I think is cool about the expanded universe is kind of like how we were talking about with the Halloween movies, is how there's multiple timelines. Well, in this sense, you can either follow the timeline of the movies and what's considered canon in that, or you can go the expanded universe route, and that's your canon. And what I think is cool about having the expanded universe is in the newer movies, they can draw from the expanded universe and take some of those ideas. Um, to be fair, the expanded universe never was canon. That's according to George Lucas.
Hmm.
The only stuff that was canon was what he chose to make canon. Like Darth
Mm,
Plagueis came from the expanded universe.
What? But they talked about Darth Plagueis in the Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, because he made Darth Plagueis canon.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, we can end this stream
Hell, they
pretty
could
soon.
even do Old Republic. I just want to throw that in there. Remember how
Yes.
that was? Yes, they could
Oh my
go
god.
back that far in time. Back when, wait, didn't Jedi have the same ideals though back then, or was it different?
They had, yeah, I'd say they basically had the same ideals, and that was the Sith had the same ideals. Except I think there was more than two Sith back then.
Okay. But yeah, we
Until
could end the stream now. It's like 1 in the morning.
yeah.
Well, tomorrow I guess we'll do politics if I have time. I guess.
Yeah. I think
Um,
this is an interesting conversation though that can be expanded
the,
on.
the Star Wars was definitely at least I
Yeah.
could tell you were more interested.
Well, I was interested in Halloween too, but cuz I know
I
you
can tell your excitement.
well, I know cuz I'm talking to you and I think you have more of an understanding of Star Wars than you do Halloween.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah. Which is fine, which is why I wanted to talk about Star Wars because we already spent like 20 minutes talking about Halloween only to have that live stream end. What I like about this though is that like it doesn't have to be 100% like here's the topic, here's what we're talking about, which I
Yeah,
like that.
we drifted a little bit, but it
That's
was
fine.
fun.
Fuck yeah,
It
it
was
was.
fun. Anyways,
I'm ending the live stream. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. You're all
bye,
amazing.
Dad.
Bye.